Hey Dreamers, Bryce here from Midnight Notion, singer, songwriter, musician, big fan of Metallica, but I have no idea what my favorite Metallica song is. Could it be Wasting My Hate? Probably not, but let's use math to find out. Cue the intro.
So Ted, give it to me now!
For the best Metallica song! Wasting My Hate, track number 10 from the Load album, and I'll be completely honest, I'm not really looking forward to this one. As a matter of fact, I'm very happy that it's less than 4 minutes long, but of course, even though I have bias going into this, we are going to grade it with an open mind. We're going to listen to it together, minds as wide open as they can be, and we're going to pick apart everything that we find interesting, and then I'm going to grade it using the following categories: composition, memorability, emotional response, instrumentation, and lyrics. Each category is a scale of 0 to 4 with a grand total of 20 possible points. We'll find out at the end if this has enough to make it to the top 20. I don't think so, but again, open mind. We're keeping an open mind. I know a lot of people out there are haters of the Load album. So far, it's been a lot better than I expected. So maybe this one will be the one. Maybe. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let's get to it. Let's get it over with. Wasting My Hate. I do love this intro. You know, I'm not sure that hi-hat hit. I don't know if he's going tss, 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 tss. Not that Lars is incapable of playing with varying velocities, but it sounds like it could be a delay, right? He could be just going tss, 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 and they slapped a little slap back reverb on there, not reverb, delay on there. So he hits it once, but the delay echoes it. It sounds like it could be echoed because it seems very consistent. And again, Lars is great. I love the drumming that he's brought to the world. He's got a very unique style. But we have to all acknowledge that the man doesn't really play with rudiments. He doesn't play with technical style. Technical prowess, rather. So when I hear him going, tss, 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 I'm curious about whether or not he's playing it that way or if it's just an effect in post. I don't know. I do know that I have a song, Turning Point, I believe it was Turning Point, where I recorded the hi-hats on the downbeat on like the 1 and the 3. And then when I was editing the song, I was like, wait, no, this feels better on the 2 and the 4. So I changed it in the edit. So it's possible that they maybe recorded it one way and then they were editing it and they were like, maybe it could use an extra hit. And then if they ever played it live from there, he might have added that second hit live because of the recording. It's possible. I'm not saying this is how it's done. I'm just saying that is a possibility. Either way, I like the way it feels. We got a nice little clean riff with a little bit of gain on it, but it's not much. Or maybe chorus? How many times have we gone through this telephone vocal thing? It's, again, that same effect. He keeps using that telephone effect. I don't know. I feel like I'm done with it at this point. We've had 10 songs on the record, and I feel like at least half of them have had this. It might have been on all of them. I don't know. I had not been keeping track, but I'm done with it. I do like this intro. Yeah, okay. There's the offbeats. That's what I'm talking about. Lars is always doing that tss, tss on the 2 and 4. That's why it led me to believe the intro was that way. Ultimately, musically, a lot of cool stuff to celebrate here, right? It just doesn't feel like typical Metallica, but that's okay. We're grading it as a song, we're not putting it into a category with everything else. I like that. A lot of offbeats in this song. I'm looking forward to these offbeats, and this riff is pretty fun. See that? The reason that didn't work for me is we had this nice little a really heavy riff, and we had those offbeat hi-hats. We're expecting this this big percussive like hit section, and what we get instead is a light ride cymbal and a little snare, pa, ba, ga, ba, ga, baka. It just doesn't baka, baka. It doesn't have any. The build gets dropped. We built up. We had this clean intro, and then we have these hard hits, and then we've got a nice hey, hey. And if you were doing the hey section live, as soon as the ride cymbal and the snare come in, ba, ba, ba. It's just the energy's gone. It's over. It's gone. It's done. There's no more energy left. You have to earn it right back. And I don't know. That's probably why I don't typically listen to this song. This riff is cool though. There's those offbeats. I like this part. Offbeats. Yeah, okay, so let's talk a little bit about offbeats. When the drums are, I've mentioned this on a song before, but we have a straight common time 4/4 meter. Every measure is 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? On those 4 beats, we have the kick drum on the first beat. We have the snare drum on the second beat. We have the kick drum on the third beat and the snare drum on the fourth beat. Boom, cha, boom, cha. All the way through, we have the hi-hats on 8 beats. So it's all 4 beats and then subdivided. It's also on the and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So we got a stats, boots, stats. Really great. And the reason why this works for Metallica, you'll see this in almost all of their songs, just that straight boom cha, while the guitars are playing off notes, right? Or they're playing some off beats. Their rhythm is a little bit different. That driving straight feel of the drums actually helps them, because when we get to a section with off beats, it matters, right? So we're going boom cha, ba 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 ba. Those hits really hit. If he was playing boom cha, boo cha, boo cha, boo cha, boo cha, boo, he's hitting kick drum every offbeat he can. Then when those hits come, they don't feel any different. They don't have any impact to them. So by playing straight and reserving yourself, then you hit the offbeats when it matters. That's really cool. I love how he's playing the straight groove and the guitars are just kind of going bum 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 bum. They're playing on every 4. They're not quarter notes. They're eighth notes because there's a rest. Hit, rest, hit, rest, hit, rest. Bum bum bum. They're like muting in between each note. It creates a really interesting effect. Any other drummer out there might have heard this and went like, okay, the guitars are going bam, 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 bam. So I'm gonna go bapu, 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 and they fill that space. But Lars is just gonna keep it straight, keep it smooth, keep it grooving, and only hit those offbeats when it matters. And then there's a couple of hits, and then there's a drum fill, and we're back into it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot. Let's go 2 offbeat tickets. Now back to the intro riff. I like that. Ride cymbal. I love the Hetfield. We had one of those in the intro too. Okay, I'm going to take back what I said. I do like this song a lot more than I expected to. As a matter of fact, yep, just retract everything I said in the intro. It's much better. I gave it too much. I judged it too hard before going into it. I apologize to all of you out there. You knew that this was going to be better than I did, and so I apologize. I can be wrong sometimes. It's okay to be wrong, and it's even more okay to admit when you're wrong, right? Right? We're all going to admit when we make a mistake. That's a good thing. That's not being weak. That's being good. Yeah, no, this is a lot more fun than I expected. I appreciate how that main riff is going. And then there's a breakdown. There's a baku bugu. I don't know. That's the technical name for it. Baku bugu. And then we go into a halftime feel. Lars is now on the kick drum on the 1 and the snare drum on the 3. We're taking that 1 2 1 2 feel and we're turning it into a 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and it's like cutting it in half. It's like making it longer, but it's the same amount of time. It's a halftime feel. Boom, cat, boom. Boo-ka. Really cool way to change up the riff, keep it fresh, keep it new. I don't like the use of the ride cymbal in the song. I think it's too bing, 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 bing. I feel like it's too high. I'm talking a lot about drums here, but that's what's standing out to me. So. Yeah. Straight. Hits. Okay, so I see what's happening here. I noticed this in the first riff, but because I talked before it happened, I didn't point it out. He's doing that straight riff only the first time through. The riff, the verse riff is like there's like two sections to it. They do it once, and then there's the big hits. And then the second time through, he actually adds the kick drum in more frequently. So when he was doing boom, cha, to begin with, now the second time through, we get a lot more boom, cha, boom, boom. That's not the exact rhythm, but you see what I'm saying. When you listen to it, you can hear the offbeats more frequently the second time around. That's okay, because we're just, again, building it up. But interesting note. Okay, watch how this goes from straight to halftime. There it is. Little harmony. Oh. I like that. I like that additional low hit. Boom. We were expecting it to go back into the main riff again, but they went back to that low. I think it's an E flat. I haven't actually verified what the tuning is, but most of this record has been E flat. So having that additional boom, think I'll keep it for myself. We're changing the chorus. We're building it. That's composition, man. This is good composition so far, except for that ride cymbal. All right, where's it going? Hey. Yeah, the wah. That's really cool. There, everyone is emphasizing that. There's a snare and a cymbal hit to psh, and there is like the guitars are wah, but then there's one guitar, probably Kirk's guitar, with a wah on it that's just doing a wah, wah. You know what I mean? Wah. You add a little wah. Gotta add a little wah to it. Build. Oh. I thought it was going to go to like a big solo, right? Oh, bummer. I mean, okay. I've talked about this many times throughout this record. Kirk is pulling back. He's doing a lot less soloing. This song is very riffy. It built to what I thought was going to be a big solo or an explosion or a change up of something, and then it just kind of went back to a verse. I can hear that this is slightly different from the earlier verses, but it's not enough different to be like really awesome. That was a really cool build, and it went nowhere. It kind of fell for me. So that's a bummer. Wait a second. Hold on. We got to hear that fill again, because I don't know what's going on there, but it sounds like he grew another arm. Let me hear that again. Rewind. Yeah, I don't know there. It sounds like he's doing a drum fill and playing the hi-hat all the way through at the same time. And I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it at all. You can hear the wash of the hi-hat, but then he's going, you know, he's like playing a big, like he's doing a double. He always does double sticking. There's no way that he's going ba ba boom 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 with one hand. That's not a technique that Lars has. He's definitely doing snares, like a double, maybe some toms, and maybe the kick drum. That's the classic Lars fill. We heard it all over And Justice for All. Boom. He's doing that in there, but the hi-hat is still going throughout. I'm going to rewind it one more time. Listen to this fill. There's no way. That's I'm on to you. I'm on to you, Lars. That is some post-production work right there. They must have had a track with just the hi-hat going and they forgot to cut it out, or maybe they left it in intentionally. There's a ba 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 ba, and then when he goes into the fill, you could still hear the tss of the hi-hat. No way. One more time. One more. I don't know. Those sound like Tom's. Like he ends on the floor tom. Somebody's delivering something. Anyway, there's a and that's fine. And then the end of it, there's a lot of snare stuff going on there. So you can do snare and hi-hat at the same time. You could essentially go ba and then do the boom with the feet. But by Load Air, I don't trust Lars with the ability to really, really go to town on the double kick pedal. He's really just a 1 and 2 and 1, or right left. He doesn't do a lot of really fancy stuff. So I don't. One more time. I know you're tired of it, but I am curious. There's no way. Nope. Okay, cool. Great way to end a song. Right. There's a little bit. Right. Cool. That was a lot more fun than I expected, but there are definitely some problems. Let's give this sucker some points. Composition. Well, there's a lot in here to be celebrated. The change-ups from having a straight riff to having offbeats, the little hits, the emphasizing of the hits, the way that it goes from that straight to a halftime feel. We have a pretty standard verse, chorus feel to it. Doesn't really change the order of operations. It actually doesn't even have a solo. However, I want you all at home who are watching this, no matter where you are in your Metallica journey, I want you to remember that just because it doesn't have a solo doesn't make it a bad song. Not all songs need solos. I wanted this section to go to something bigger. Bigger doesn't have to mean solo. So when I talk about that build up, it could have been like a holdout. It could have been a new verse, a new bridge, like a different rhythm. It could have changed tempo. It could have changed key signature. It could have changed anything. But the fact that it built up to something we've already heard, it was just a different verse. We've already heard 2 verses at that point. And so that verse wasn't enough new. If he was maybe singing it a different way, he brought his voice up, if the guitars were doing something new and spectacular, that would have been something new, but something bigger. But I just didn't get that from that build. So the compositionally, I'm not arguing that they need solos. I'm arguing that it needed to go somewhere bigger, or the buildup should not have happened. That's all. A lot of stuff to be celebrated. I love the intro. I love the main riff. I love those offbeat hits. The drums are pretty solid throughout the song, except for that one moment where they cheated a little bit, but that's okay. Everybody does that in the recording process. Every major artist has something that they did multiple times or they layered just to make it sound better, and they may not be able to replicate it live, but that's okay, because live you can do whatever fill you want to do. That's the power of being a musician. Have a grand day. Ultimately, there isn't really anything stand out about the song. I can't knock it too hard. I bring it down a few because of that build-up not going anywhere, but I don't want this to be negative because it was actually a pretty decent song. So compositionally, this one gets a 2. Memorability. Unfortunately, for those of you who are load haters, this song has everything that makes a song memorable. We repeat the same riff over and over, and Waste My Hate is said throughout the song, including right away at the very, very beginning. That chorus is pretty catchy, I think. I love that good day, how do, and I send a smile to you. Sounds like it's a positive thing, but also you suck, and I'm not going to waste my time on you. This goes to any of you out there who are having troubles with your family because of the election season or because of COVID. There's a lot of disagreements out there. Sometimes it isn't worth the time because, I mean, I say this, but I'm also one of those people. I'm struggling a lot lately because I lost a very close family member that isn't to death, but to relations. I had to sever a relationship with someone I cared very deeply about because of an unwillingness to change, to grow, and adapt to the world as we know it today. And that's something that I'm actually kind of grieving about. I really miss this person a whole lot because they meant a lot to my life. But once their true colors started coming out, I began getting kind of sad about it. And I tried my best to educate them. I tried my best to reach out. I tried to use facts. I tried to use, just person-to-person communication, but it just wasn't getting through. And it was actually creating the reverse effect, and it was making it worse. So unfortunately, we had to kind of part ways, and I did that. I made that decision. I stand by it because it's important to me, but it's really unfortunate. So to those of you who are dealing with something similar, know that, gosh, it really, really stinks, but you don't have to waste that hate on that person. If they're not going to change, if they're not going to listen, if they're not going to trust that you mean well, that you have goodness in your heart, then they're not going to trust you, and it's time to move on. This is a lot talking about the lyrics. What were we talking about? Memorability. The song is pretty memorable. I'm going to give it a 3. Emotional response. I came into this not wanting to hear it, and I am so glad that I was proven wrong. There's a lot to be celebrated, as I said before, and so ultimately much better than I anticipated, but I still don't know that the song sits in my gotta have it category. If I was to see this live again, I would feel gifted. I got a rare song that they almost never play. Ooh, neat, interesting. And it's not terrible, but I don't really need this one. So emotional response, I don't know where to stand on it. I'm going to give it a nice even 2. Instrumentation, the same goes for this one. I don't really know that anything really stood out. We've got fine drums, we've got fine guitar, we got fine singing. For this whole record, James has really been showing off his voice, and this song was pretty static. It kind of just stayed one. It's not one note all the way through, but he didn't really show off that range, and that's fine. You can have songs that are pretty standard, but it just, knowing the rest of their catalog in the search for something great, this one doesn't feel like it has it. So it's kind of just, I don't know where to go on this one. So again, even 2. Lyrics, last but not least, I like these lyrics enough. I don't think that they're bad. I don't think that they're good, but I'm not really in the middle of them because I like what they're saying. I like that there's sort of a juxtaposition. It sounds like hey, good day to you. Hey, you know what? Here's a smile from me to you. Hey, you know what? You're a great person, and I think you're awesome. But like on the inside, dude, you need to buck up and do some learning because there's some stuff in the world that you just don't know, and you don't know that you don't know, and that's the problem. I love that message. I don't think that there's anything that's massively amazing about these lyrics, but I think they're good enough. So I don't know. I'm going to give them points for sending across a message that I agree with. So this one lyrically, I'm going to give it 3. And so Wasting My Hate gets 12 points, which unfortunately is not enough to make the top 20. It is currently in 41st place out of 57, which is fairly low, but it's not bottom 10. It's fine. But it's just, they have so many better songs. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at those better songs. This is the top 20 as we are right now, with one at the top, Dyer's Eve, still on the chopping block. It's been there for quite a while. So holding on with all of its might. We have the only 2 ties so far. King Nothing and Through the Never are tied in 13th place. And we've got a 3-way tie for 4th place between Master of Puppets of Wolf and Man and, of course, Bleeding Me. So a lot of load on this top 20, and a lot of you were really upset about that. But I mean, can you blame them? Can you blame me for thinking that a band is growing and getting better at their craft over time? I hope not, because I mean, I'm better than I was when I started. Go back and listen to the archives. I released that in 2008, but I wrote it when I was 15. Those songs are terrible. They're really awful. And the stuff that I released, last year on Somewhere in Dream World are way better by like a landslide. So it's just artistic growth, man. Get over it. We're going to be all fine. There's going to be more top favorites coming, I assure you. But anyway, now it's your turn. Using my method, in the comments below, tell me what score you would give this song. Honestly, like really actually do the work. Break it out into those 5 categories. It's harder than it sounds. And make sure you check out My Music Midnight Notion wherever you get your music online. Maybe skip the archives and go straight to March to Midnight and Somewhere in Dream World. Those are much, much better. But if you feel like listening to a 15-year-old's writing, whatever. You can do whatever you want. Because you know what? You're awesome. And smash that subscribe button so you can be here tomorrow as we listen to whatever Mama has to say. I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.